Go upward, and we recognize the central lie of American race relations. We don't exploit other groups. We don't gain anything from their presence. They need us and not the other way around. 2 weeks ago, I might have said the election of Donald Trump would actually lessen the pressure on white Americans. But today it is clear his election is only intensifying the storm of hatred and hysteria being directed against us. As Europeans, we are uniquely at the center of history. We are, as Hegel recognized, the embodiment of world history itself. No one will honor us for losing gracefully. No one mourns the great crimes committed against us. For us, it is conquer or die. This is a unique burden for the white man, that our fate is entirely in our hands. And it is appropriate because within us, within the very blood in our veins as children of the sun, lies the potential for greatness. That is the great struggle we are called to. We were meant to overcome all of it, because that is natural and normal for us.
I told y'all. These motherfuckers
because
crazy.
For us as Europeans, it is only normal again when we are great again.
See what he did there? When we are great again, we European, make white people great again. Also, did you notice that white people are children of the sun? Did you notice that line from him? I mean, I'm no expert, but I would think that children of the sun would be more tan. You know what I'm saying? This was not a tan group. But now that we've got this new president-elect, this is the news cycle on the Monday of Thanksgiving week, because this is part of our national politics now. With this new president-elect, and with the way he got elected, and with who he is bringing with him to Washington, this is the kind of thing that we're all getting used to covering now. And so, honestly, the view from inside today's news cycle, trying to figure out how to do an evening news show about what's going on in politics and in our country right now, had to today include a big, serious, not at all self-conscious, earnest debate inside news organizations about whether the white supremacists who gathered to celebrate the election of this new president they love, there was a huge debate today about whether, when they got together, they were saying Heil Trump or whether they were saying Hail Trump. It was a big debate today.
Because for us as Europeans, it is only normal again when we are great again. Hail Trump! Hail our people! Hail victory!
Big discussion today within the news business as to whether that was Heil, like German, or was that Hail, which is English, and is that... So that was the sort of first part of the news day, trying to figure out how to cover that. And then late this afternoon, we got tape of that event from a different angle, which I think settled conclusively the question of Heil versus Hail. We got this better camera angle where you see the guy at the podium saying, Hail Trump, but then you take the wide shot and you can then see how the room reacted. Watch this.
Hail Trump! Hail our people! Hail victory!
Gathered in that room, responding to Hail Trump.
Hail victory!
With the straight-arm Hitler-style salute. There's no use arguing about what's going on there and what particular vowel that genius bought at the end of his speech. Right? It's not just like one guy in the room doing this as a joke. It's kind of cropping up all over the room.
Victory!
And once you see those salutes with your own eyes, I'm no longer all that hung up on whether they're saying hail in English or Heil in German. They know what they mean, and we do too. The leader of this Children of the Sun, White People are the Center of History, Conquer or Die convention, NBC News called him tonight, much to his deep delight. And he told them that his mission, as he sees it, is to professionalize this movement that he's part of so that they will have more influence in this country. And so, yes, maybe there was some Hail Trump, people giving Nazi salutes and all that, but he told NBC News tonight that people were giving that salute in that room in response to the cries of Hail Trump simply out of, in his words, out of exuberance. So we therefore shouldn't read too much into it. Stuff exists in our country. It's always existed in our country under one rock or another. This specific guy giving the Hail Trump speech that earned all these straight arm salutes, we've actually covered him on and off over the years on this show because every once in a while in real politics butts up against guys like him who are literally trying to turn America into a whites-only ethno-state. We've been covering this guy on and off for a few years. What we're not used to is covering the whites-only ethno-state guy as a relevant part of our presidential politics, which is what it has now become. And because the followers of this white nationalist, white supremacist, racist agenda came into this DC conference on Saturday from all over the country, that does mean that folks with this agenda are out there all over the country. And we know from what's just happened in presidential politics that they are feeling super empowered by what just happened in this election, and they feel like they've got a guy at the top. On Friday afternoon, on the eve of this twice the usual size white supremacist conference, a restaurant in the suburbs of Washington, D.C., they took a last-minute booking for a banquet that night. The people who called said they needed to book a room for a family reunion. And the managers of the restaurant say the family name was generic. They had no reason to think this was anything other than what it seemed like. They tell us that 80 or so people came in for that, maybe 100 people. But then something got weird. At one point they told us that 50 people from outside on the street burst into the restaurant to try to storm this family reunion event, protesting the presence of whatever generic name family reunion was going on in that banquet hall. That was strange. The restaurant blocked the surge from outside, but then they realized there were a lot more protesters outside on the street, and the resulting confrontation between the two sides, somebody threw a stink bomb into the fray. Management ended up calling the police. They ended up shutting down the restaurant for the night for everybody's safety. They said, while they were cleaning up, sort of trying to figure out what they were in the middle of, somebody sent the restaurant a picture. And you recognize there in the picture, ye olde Nazi salute. The restaurant staff also recognized in that picture their own light fixtures, their own chandeliers in the background, and that's when they realized, oh, who really had been there. Yeah, they'd made a reservation like they were a family reunion, but what that actually was on Friday night, unbeknownst to the rest